Good evening. Nice to see you here on this beautiful Monday evening with just grey Swedish weather, but it's a nice evening. I just see that there's a beautiful painting here. My daughter was in the office earlier today and she painted a heart with, oh, that's probably my my office, and then moon and stars or something. Yeah, it could be tomtenisse. We have a little Santa Claus living in our house. It's a tradition in Sweden that you have for the kids. You put a door on a shelf, and then there's a Santa Claus living there. Not Santa Claus, but a Nisse. He's like a little elf, gnome, and he kind of runs around in the house and gives presents to them sometimes. Some Nisse are naughty, so they do bus. They topple things over and they make a mess. Our Nisse is very nice, and my daughter is very fond of him. So she writes letters, and when we have food, she gives him little bowls of food, so he has something to eat. Very upset if she doesn't get to give him food. So it's really important to do that. So I think that might be what that picture is about. And she was out here before, so she painted that. I hope you're having a good start to December. It's crazy how quickly it goes. Summer was really long and bright and warm, and then you have the fall and everything changes and life becomes just more slow. Like, at least here, it depends on where you live. I remember when I lived in Sri Lanka, it was quite the opposite, because summertime was rainy season and wintertime was when it was like high season for tourists, and it was very nice weather. So then during the winter season, what on earth do I have here? A cable? During winter season, the weather was really nice, and during summer season, it was still warm, but it was just rainy. And the difference when you live in a country like Sri Lanka is that you're outside much more. You go out the whole time, and you go out. It doesn't matter if it's winter or fall, or like it's always warm. Whereas here you have the different seasonalities, which means that during winter, Swedish people tend to go inside more. Hey, Nicole, nice to see you. People tend to go inside more and keep to themselves. And I think then the internet is a really nice way of reaching out to other people, so you're not alone, because it is very easy to become lonely and to feel like you're alone and you don't have anyone to talk to, and that can be it can be difficult, because as humans we need that connection, or we crave for that connection. I'm not going to say we need it, because you can absolutely live without it. But it's nice to have human connection. I've spent a lot of time lately talking to people about how one builds a business around a way, an income around a channel, and what to do. And one of the things I keep running up against, which I have a hard time with, that maybe you can help me with, is that for you to be able to have something that generates an income, you need to help people with something, meaning you need to give people an outcome, something that they get from watching you. So you see many of the channels they have, so you go to their channel to lose weight, or you go to their channel to deal with bad hair loss. You go to your channel to deal with how to train your dog. Own your words. Nice. Good evening. Oops. Own your words. Nice to see you. Own your words. I don't think I've seen you before. Or did you? Were you here under a different name before? And good evening to you too. So there's always a outcome that people get, and I've had something against that. And I was talking to a woman about this, and I realized how I was pushing back. Hey, Mats. Nice to see you. And it's not really that. When I was talking about this, I had another conversation last week with someone. It's not that I am against outcomes. I think it's amazing for people to take care of their lives, to make sure they have Nice to see you, if you're new here, Owen. And I think it's a great idea to take care of your life, meaning take care of your relationships, know how to have a happy, healthy relationship, not one that drains your energy and that makes you feel bad. Make sure you have a job that you enjoy and that gives you enough money. I mean, there's no limit to how much money you can have, just like as much money as you need. And make sure that your body is in as good shape as you can get it, meaning whatever you feel comfortable with having. And all of those things are good things to have, but I see them a little bit as something that happens naturally when you feel good. Because a person who feels good won't stay in a bad relationship, because why would they? If you're in a relationship that drains your energy, that makes you feel bad, that is just difficult, why are you in that relationship? Because a lot of people stay in relationships because it's comfortable, it's habit, they've done it for a long time, or it gives them company, sexual affection, or financial support, or there's all these things that you can get from a relationship. But someone who feels good doesn't have the need for that in the same way, so they can say, oh, I don't like this relationship, and so they leave. Same thing with your body. If your body is grossly overweight or underweight, can be either or you're just unhealthy because you're eating bad food or just sitting and playing computer games all day, someone who feels good just tends to take care of themselves. So for me, if you practice what we're talking about here, meaning to really learn how to enjoy your life experience and just focus on enjoying, it's that simple, or enjoyment, and learning the principles behind how that works. The rest is kind of secondary, and I think that was I know that was the approach I had when I was a monk in the monastic world, was that I left everything else to, I don't really care. My only focus was how am I experiencing the world right now, and whatever technique I was using. And I'm not sure if that is the best way to do it for people who are lay people. I still do it that way, meaning I obviously I have a family, I have my fiance, I have my children, and I have the house, and I have an economy, and I think about all those things. But on top of all of that, I always focus on how am I experiencing this moment, and am I enjoying it? And if I'm not, why am I doing it? That doesn't mean that I will stop doing that thing. I might still keep doing that because the outcome of not doing it is so bad that I feel like I have to do it. Or it could be that I also understand that, well, if my fiance is having a bad mood and like is upset, that doesn't mean that she's a bad person and I should just leave her because in this moment it's not nice. No, I understand. Like you have an understanding of what another person is like. So then I can understand. Okay, so right now it's not her best day, so that's fine. We can move on, and then it will be better later. But if it would keep being like that, then I also have the sense of mind to understand that, okay, this is not working. We need to do something about this. So it's not that I have anything against helping people do things, but what I also find an issue is that so much of the spiritual world, and one of the reasons I left the spiritual world, is that if you would take someone who was living on Wall Street and who had their goals, their vision board of the Lamborghini, of the $1 billion they were going to have on their bank account, not just 1 million or 10 million, no, $1 billion, and the beautiful model wife or model husband and the kids who are all perfect, like the things they were visualizing and how they're working towards that and going to achieve partnership at the firm and all these things. Everyone's like, oh, that's disgusting, like, oh, that's so over the top. But if you take someone who's into the spiritual world, it's all about the reason they want to feel alignment and feel passion is so that they can get the stuff. It's the same. And this is the thing I have a problem with. Or the thing I disagree with, I should say. It's fine for people to do this. It's not that law of attraction and alignment and all this stuff doesn't work. It really does help. If you feel that you have a strong resistance towards money, you're going to have a really, really hard time earning money. If you feel that you're not worthy of love, that you're just an ugly person inside and outside and no one can love you, then you're going to have a really hard time finding love. But if you understand the principles of distortion, of this pressure we create to the world around you, all of those things will become obvious, because when you start observing, okay, I'm feeling good, and now I'm talking to this woman or man over here, and I can feel myself feel bad. Why am I doing it? That's a distortion. If you take that away, then you can just have a normal conversation with them. And you can see all of these things by themselves. You don't really need to focus on one of them. But maybe that's overwhelming. Maybe that's too broad and too much assumption that you, as a viewer or someone who's practicing, will do that or have the persistence to do that, because in the beginning it's not so easy. In the beginning it makes a lot of sense that whatever happens to me determines whether I feel good or I feel bad. And therefore, it might not make it the best way to approach doing this. So I'm really curious if any of you have thought about, I mean, some of you have been here for a very long time, and probably because you understand or see the thing that I'm aiming towards. But I really have been thinking about this, if it would be better to do something else. And if I would do that, what would be my thing that I would help people with? Like, one of the things that I see as my thing that I care about is helping people be less spiritual, but at the same time do the things that you do while you're spiritual, if that makes sense. Meaning meditation and working with the mind and learning how to be happy in your daily life, not through the way the rest of the world does it, but through inner practice of some kind. So I want people to be able to do that and not get caught up in all the other stuff and garbage. And you should see these people who talk so much about this, and they're like on their path and all this stuff, and then they suffer a lot on the inside. They suffer so much the whole time, and it's like all this drama and things up and down, and it's not the solution to everything. It's just another way of getting stuff. So I want to be an alternative towards that, and another way of being able to do those things, but not for the same reason. Meaning the reason you do it is to feel good, and you understand that feeling good is the outcome that you're actually looking for. The reason you want the perfect partner is because you want to feel good. The reason you want to have enough money to live and have the things you believe you need to have is because you want to feel good when you have them. Now, if you feel good, it is much more likely that you'll find your dream partner, and it's much more likely that you'll do your dream job. But maybe that's not obvious. So I am really curious of what you think about it. And I know that some of you aren't always able to type, but if you are, I'd be very happy to hear, because it's something that's been it's been on my mind, and I'm absolutely man enough to admit that if I do something wrong or something that is not the most useful way to do this, then I should change it to something else. The question is what and how would what should I focus on then? For instance, if I go out and say, like, I help people be less spiritual, that's not really a good selling point. Maybe it's I help people be spiritual without the spirituality, or I help people fix their lives while feeling good. Or like there's other ways of approaching this, but it's not really, it's not an obvious, clear thing for me to see what I would actually do, because I don't think that way. I think of it differently. But again, just because I see that way, I would like to tell everyone who listens to me, like, just trust me, bro. This is good for you. I promise you. If you do this, you will be happier, you will be more content, and you will very likely get more of the things that you want in your life, because they just follow when you feel good. But that's not really a good argument to have. I think there needs to be a bit more behind it to make people able to actually take that in. Sion, I'm a little confused with what you're asking here. I feel you're conflicted about your approach. Is that it? Not about my approach, but about my way of teaching my approach. So I'm very clear about what I do, but the question is, how do I share what I do? Because again, for me, it's very obvious that you focus on feeling good. That's like for the sake of feeling good, because that's what you ultimately want. You want to feel good. And the idea that you need to have something on the outside to feel good is simply not true. It's a false belief. And if you start looking at all these things that we believe need to be a certain way for us to feel good, you see that they're all over the place. And the more of those you take away, the easier it is for you to feel peace in the world, to feel satisfaction, to feel like the world is nice as it is, without needing to change every single detail about every single person or every single thing around you. Now, for me, that is obvious, but that is such a vague thing to get across to someone who, again, people who are here, many of you have been here for a long time and listened to me for like literally years, and then you understand that. But for someone who's coming new, that might not be as obvious. It might not be as clear what I am trying to say. Just like you're asking now, I'm confused what I'm asking about. It would be much easier if I say, I help you find alignment so that you can find and achieve the life that you want to live, with the dream partner, with the job that gives you joy, that gives you harmony and makes you feel like you have your place in this world. And at the same time, find the career and the reason you were put here on this planet. If I say that, people are, oh yeah, I want that. Like that's what I want. I want that. But if I tell you, like, I want you to be able to feel good no matter what happens around you, that's very vague. And if you come to the channel, most people come to channels or to people because they have a specific problem they want to solve, meaning my dog pees on the carpet, or I want to manifest my dream partner. Got it. I recently came to conclusion that we have to share information the way we are explaining it to ourselves. Let me explain, if you are okay with it. Absolutely, I would love to hear. We have to share information the way we are explaining to ourselves. I'd be happy to hear. And this is the thing, like I'm saying, I am quite different because I lived as a Buddhist monk for 6 years. My motivation is probably very, very different than most other people, because I have sat so much and done so much walking meditation that for me, it's never a question about should I do it or should not. Is there a reason? Is something happening? Like, it's just so obvious. But I know that someone who comes here, for them, it's not. I also see things quite differently for a few specific reasons, but I see things differently in the practice because, first of all, I've done it more than most people who come here, but I also have other things that, like I've talked about my herniated discs in my neck, which means that I always feel this thing people could feel called kundalini, meaning there's always a tension of energy in my spine, constantly. Sometimes it goes up and down to the point where I get migraines and I'm just shaking. And that changes with whether I'm having lots of distortion, meaning pushing against things around me, or if I'm at peace, because then the energy disappears. So my perspective is quite different than most people, since I have a different, an unusual background, I should say, compared to most people. Doesn't mean there's not people who've done what I've done, but most people have not, and it's difficult to help people through my perspective and the way that I see it myself, because for me it's all about feelings. Let's see. Jojo, nice to have you here. Let's see what Owen is saying. I created so many channels and tried to create so much thinking. I have to make content to help others to understand. But how could I satisfy so many thousands of people? So I realized recently. Oh, nice, you've had channels. I'm very interested in hearing. Hey Jojo, we are talking about how if my way of communicating the way that I practice is the best way to do, because it's very vague, it's very general, whereas most people you come to me for burnout, or you come to me for heartache, or you come for me for manifestation. That's like such an easy selling point to go with manifestation, because everyone wants more, everyone wants stuff, everyone wants to have, I want stuff, I like stuff, I don't mind stuff. It's just that I think that these are two different things. They can be combined, but there's a reason to practice just for the sake of practice. We don't need to get anything from the practice. And if you do the practice because you want stuff, you're just stuck in the old way of doing things, meaning you think you need to have all these things to be happy. And if I can just get this thing, just get this thing, just get this thing. And that never stops. So finding a way for me to communicate that so people can understand. So I realized recently that whatever I decide to create, I have to create it for myself, how I want it to be taught if I were a learner. And here is the problem. When I was learning this myself, I lived as a Buddhist monk. I had, not infinite time, I had every single moment of my waking day to focus on doing this. Meaning that I got up in the morning, I didn't have to think about having food. I didn't have to think about even cleaning something. Well, I did clean myself and like my surroundings. Depending on where I were, some places I wasn't even allowed to cook food or to clean. Lay people did that for us. Like I wouldn't have been able to do the dishes. They would have been horrified if I did, because I'm not supposed to do that. So again, my point when I did that is so different from the average person that it's difficult for me to think back what I wanted. I'd have to go even further back and think, what would it have been before I was there? Like, what would I have needed then? Maybe that's what you're saying, actually. And then, absolutely, it would have been easier if I came with a specific reason. Like, what do I actually want? I always do it the other way around. People have come to me with anything from heartache to like severe depression and stuff, or I want to create my business's name, or how to make more money, or how to handle a difficult sex life, or whatever. Like, all of those things are conversations I've had with people, and I never focused on fixing the sexual problems, the name of the company, the fat loss, whatever it was. I always focused on having people not distort towards these things. So if they talked about their relationship, I helped them find so that they didn't have any aversion or craving for that, but actually being able to just see it as it was. Because when you do, all of a sudden things make sense. Oh, actually, you know what? This person sucks. They're a bad person. Like, I was just together with them because they're attractive. I don't like them as a person. We have nothing in common, and we just fight the whole time, and they're quite mean. Oh, I just leave them. Whereas when you have all these feelings and distortions in there, like, oh yeah, but we've been together, and I used to love him so much or her so much, and there's all these things, and then I come in and like, oh, I want to help you to manifest you. No, I don't do that. I help you see things clearly by removing the things that makes it so you cannot see the situation as it is, because we don't see situations as they are. We see the situation with this distortion. We have this constant pushing and pulling towards the world around us. And when you take that away, the solution is clear to you. You'll know it. I mean, if you're overweight and you would take away the distortion you have towards food, usually when we overeat, it's not that we're hungry. I mean, most people aren't even hungry. We eat because we have a craving. I've looked at this a lot, and it is rare that I used to eat at least, because of actual hunger, and most people don't. So if you would look at that, that would just become clear. I wouldn't have to tell you that. But I focus on the underlying problem, not the outcome. And that might be doing you a disservice, because then it's not so clear why you would do it. Let's see, Jojo. Because I'm new to meditating, I tried to figure out, but sadly I have to say that sometimes some tasks are way too quick for me. Some tasks. For example, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. I can't focus that quick on all those things. Some evenings I got frustrated because I thought I'm doing it wrong, and ta-da, back to all those false friends. And maybe there are some more ways. Oh, that's really interesting. I do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method rather quickly because I don't want to spend too much time with it. The other meditation takes time, and I do it so late. I do sometimes go through it very thoroughly. The main thing with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or anything I teach you, anything, is that if you feel bad, you're missing the point. Because nothing should make you feel bad in what we do. The whole idea is to bring you back to the senses. But let's take that as an example. So we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, and you're like, okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I should be doing it differently, or am I doing it correctly? And you start having distortion. You start feeling like, oh, I'm not in a good mood now. I'm feeling bad because there was something that this guy here did where he counted from 5 things you could see, 4 things you could feel, 3 things you could hear, 2 things you could smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And I didn't understand what to do. And now I'm feeling bad. That's a really silly thing to do. Why would you feel bad about some idiot on YouTube telling you to like listen and see? And you're like, why would you feel bad about that? I'm not even there in the room with you. Like I can't like you're just sitting. I don't know that you're not doing those things. And if you feel that you want to do them differently, then logical solution would be to ask for help, or ask for something to change so that you get a better understanding of it, or just sit and listen and just skip that part. The whole point is that when you really start focusing on feeling good, enjoying, and you stop believing, because I'm not going to put too many words in your mouth because I'm not sure why you feel that way, but what tends to happen to a lot of people is that they feel bad because they feel they failed. They feel they're not good enough. I should understand this. It should be different. And then if I could just understand that, then I would be happy, which is exactly the kind of thing that we're trying to learn not to do. Because you don't need to do the method to feel good. In fact, if you can't do the method and that makes you feel bad, then the method has really failed. You haven't failed, like the method has failed. It's not supposed to do that. The whole purpose of the method is to bring you back to experiencing your senses. And then ultimately we want to use that awareness to enjoy being here, to enjoy just sitting here, just talking. Literally, the only thing you would need to do is just sit and feel good. That's all. But then if I ask you to do that, you go like, yeah, that's easy. I can just sit. You sit and then go, oh, no, I'm not feeling good because because I don't like Martin, the way his voice sounds. I find it really annoying. He has such a like grinding noise. It just really wears on my ears. No, I don't. I feel bad. Now I'm going to choose to feel bad. There's one and only moment that I have to be alive right now. I'm going to choose to spend it feeling bad because some person on the internet has a voice I don't really like. Or you're sitting there and you're trying to enjoy and they're like, oh, I can't enjoy because before this, someone said, just before I left work, they said that they hated cats and I have a cat. And I can't help but taking that as they're attacking me. So I'm going to choose to feel bad now because of that. When you start looking at this and start realizing how utterly insane our lives are, like the way we relate to the world, it's just crazy. We make it so hard to feel good and to be happy. It's almost impossible. Sometimes I wonder how it's even possible at all now with social media and everything. Own your words. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of us are doing this work to get something, including myself. I didn't want to go through this journey, but the deep desire I had to be wealthy pushed me and brought me to zero balance in bank, but a lot of happiness in my mind. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so this is what I'm trying to get at. I don't try to get you somewhere, but maybe I should, because if I would use that as the vehicle of teaching, it might be easier for people to understand it. Because again, if we're saying, like I was saying to Jojo now, if the point is just to feel good, and like the exercise is really nothing I say is really important. The only thing that is important is that you feel good. But very likely you're making it difficult for yourself to feel good. If you're here, very likely you're making it difficult for yourself to feel good. Otherwise you wouldn't need to be here. And that's the case for like the majority of people on the planet. Right. On Saturday, Mats and I talked about it too. And probably I just have to learn just to sit and enjoy. It's really hard for me. That's why Mats suggested to visit your... Oh, you're Mats' girlfriend. I just realized now. Jojo, yeah, I remember. That's now when you tell me you're his brother. When this phase of my journey started... own your words. Well, I mean, sorry. Mix of words. When this phase of my journey started... If anyone tell me to just feel good, I would not have understood. Exactly. That's my point. And that's my problem. In that what I'm really telling you to do is just stop making it so damn difficult. What the hell? Like seriously, just feel good. For Christ's sake. It makes me irritated how difficult I'm making it. Now I have to listen to you make it. Like, why? Why do we do this? Why do you subject yourself to all this stuff to make you feel bad? It's so stupid. Just stop doing it. Like, that's what I feel. Like, what I want to say to myself, I want to say to you. Just feel good. You don't need to feel bad because the rest of the world thinks you need to have all these things, or you should look this way, or your partner thinks you have to behave this way, or you think they should behave that way for you to feel happy. Just feel good. And then choose what you want to do with it. after you've done that, then look at the situation. If you're in a relationship that just is difficult and like not nice, like why would you be in that relationship? If you're at a job that you hate and you think is terrible and you hate the thing you're doing, I understand we need money, but can you find something else? The reason you're not moving is because you have fear and you have worry. But when we can see clearly and when we feel good, which is really the key, the key is to feeling good. Is to feel good. That's the whole thing. I could just summarize everything as that. But I cannot teach that, because if I tell people that, they go, duh, if I could, I would just feel good. Do you think I'm stupid? And that's the problem. We're all stupid. Like all of us. We just, kids are much smarter than us in this regards, because they have an easier time feeling good. They have not been subjected to school, to society, to parents, to all these things, to the point where it's just so difficult to feel good. I love seeing when my kids were small and they were breastfeeding and they were lying like on my fiance's chest and just lying there drinking, and the contentment, the joy and the peace and the calmness and the happiness, and just seeing them like, I'm warm, I feel loved, I have food, I can poop in my pants, I don't even need to go anywhere. I mean, living the life, that's all there is to it. But then they go older and we say like, don't poop in your pants, you can't drink any breast milk, like clean up in your room. You be quiet. If you're not quiet, you're not going to watch TV. Are you watching too much TV? You should be more like this. And it's sad, because I'm doing this to my kids myself. Like, I try my best not to, but it is very difficult to live in a home without doing those things. So we make it worse for ourselves and for other people. And we take on these habits where we just ruin our happiness, because a child has an easier time not doing that. They haven't developed as much stuff to feel bad about. They don't need to have their hair look good. I remember another friend who had a daughter who was a bit overweight when she was, I think, 5 or 6, and she was standing in front of the mirror doing like this, and she told me she had been saying like this, and she had asked, Mama, is it beautiful to have a big stomach, or is it ugly? She's like, why do you ask that? Yeah, because some kids at school said it was ugly. And she asked, well, what do you think? And she said, I think it's beautiful. I like my stomach. In other words, she hadn't learned to feel bad because she had a big stomach yet. Again, that doesn't mean just go out and eat and like get super obese. That just means feel good with who you are and what you're doing. And then choose what to do. Not because society tells you, not because your partner tells you, not because life tells you, but because you want to do it. Because when you feel good, you will be yourself. And again, very likely if you feel good, you wouldn't overeat, because a lot of our eating we do because of emotional distress. We eat because we feel bad. Very likely you would be a really nice person to be around, because someone who feels good tends to be a nice person. It's people who don't feel good, who don't feel nice, who are cruel and mean towards other people, who are difficult to be around because they're so self-obsessed, or they need to prove their point, like, I'm worthy, I should be here, I don't want to do this wrong, I don't want other people to tell me this, and they have all these things going on. So the problem with this, now when I'm saying this, like, I hope this makes sense now, and you can kind of get it. I'm like, oh yeah, I hope so at least. So maybe you're just sitting like, oh my God, he just lost his mind. What is he talking about? I just need $1 million on my bank account and that hot model over there. But if you can see past that, you can hopefully see how this really is an easy practice. It's just so, it's an uncomplicated practice, but it's so difficult to do. And it's difficult for me to get that across quickly, easily, and to have people stay with that, because I might say it now, but then as soon as you start getting back to their own way of feeling, then you lose all of that. And let's see. But at going through all the anguish, I came to a place where I feel good, irrespective of what is happening around me. I would say keep going with what you just said here about the message about feel good. Yes, but that is not a clear outcome, and that is the thing that I'm questioning. Am I doing it the best way? How would I, because I don't know if you're new here, but the thing is I'm losing part of my job. So I would lose an income. And one of the things that I've been wanting to do is to focus more on the channel. My biggest problem with the channel is I don't have time. But I will actually have time because I'm losing part of my job. Problem is I can't sustain our family and our economy, so I would need to earn money with the channel in some way. And to do that, I need to have a clear proposition of what I'm actually helping people with. Not just because it's a hobby and just because it's fun. I need to help people so that if I want to do a course on something, it can't just be the feel-good course, because no one's going to buy that. It's just too vague. Like, obviously I want to feel good, but I want to feel good while I'm going through a breakup. I want to feel good while I'm having a burnout, because I've had a burnout, so I know what that feels like, and I would want to work with that. I want to feel good while I'm having problems sleeping. I want to feel good while I'm losing weight and feel overweight. Like, that is much easier to give us a proposition of, like, here, look, you do this course, this is what you get and what I can help you with. And all of those things are true. It's just that I personally don't do it that way. I just focus on enjoying and feeling good. And then those things tend to take care of themselves. Sometimes I need to get in specifically and work with them, but for me it's just a vague thing. And as I said, it's difficult to share things that way, I think. And that's why I wanted to share it with you guys and see what you think, if it makes sense. To make the messaging clearer, because ultimately it's I mean, if it doesn't help anyone, I wouldn't do this. And if niching down, meaning having a specific thing I say, would make it so that I wouldn't help people, then I wouldn't do it either, because I wouldn't help people. But if making it more specific helps people, bring them in with what they think they want, and then I actually give them what I think they should have, which is to just feel good. And then, like, if you get the thing or not, like, it doesn't matter. But if you feel good about yourself, about your body, about your looks, about your life, and you do that because you want to attract another person into your life, then by all means, like, believe you're doing that. But just feeling good is enough. Seriously, you don't need a partner. You can just feel good. But if you feel good and if you enjoy life, why not share it with someone? It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's also really difficult, especially when you have kids. But that's also fun. It's all part of the whole thing. It's just do whatever you want to do. But don't go out and get kids just because you're supposed to. Don't go out and get a partner just because you believe you have to. Don't go out and earn like shitloads of money just because you think you need to. Just get enough so you can live. And then feel good. And if you really like making money, well, by all means make money. Okay, I'm gonna stop because it's getting late, and I try to not make this too late. I'm sorry, but the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method is going to be short today also, Jojo. I'll do a special 5, 3, 1 session for you. I'll try to remember it next Monday. If you come next Monday, I will do my best to stop a bit earlier. I got on a bit of a rant today. I hope... Yeah, if you have anything to say about it, I would be very happy to hear. So feel free to write it, or you can write it on the Discord channel if you want to. Jojo, let's see. But I think that it just needs time and practice to feel good and just sit here, breathe and feel good. For me, maybe I never experienced that quietness and peace. So yeah, I know, and that's the thing. I don't feel bad about this, but I like to give people what they want. I want people to feel happy, and if showing them a method that can help with that, then I'd be very happy to do that, and I will be very happy to do that in the future, since you specifically asked about that. So that's kind of funny. I tend to just do what I feel like, and then I tend to do whatever feels... No, that's not the correct way of phrasing it. I tend to make sure that I don't feel bad about anything I say or do, and when I can do that, then I say whatever comes out. So I have very little control over what comes out. But you're right, it just takes time and it takes practice. But maybe if you had a specific reason for doing that, it would motivate you more to actually do that. And it maybe would make more sense why you should do that. Because it is difficult to understand that you can just sit down and feel good. And when people try to sit down and feel good, they often try to force themselves to do that. They don't understand that they need to go through all the bad stuff and let everything just be the way it is. And then it's just there when you stop fighting. When you accept that it is the way it is. So it's interesting conversations, but I tend to be too focused on how to do it and too little focus on why you should do it. Because ultimately for you, or anyone listening to this, for you to be motivated enough to do this, you need a why. There has to be a reason why you want to do this. Maybe it is as simple as just feeling good. Maybe it's as simple as just finding quietness or stillness. Or maybe it is because you need to earn enough money or feel calm when you go into the job interview. It doesn't really matter for me. I just want you to feel good, because for me that's what it's all about. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method is a method where we focus on coming back to our senses, just experiencing things as they are. And we'll go through it a bit quickly this time because I talk too long. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. We say out aloud 5 things we can see, 4 things we can feel, 3 things that we can hear, and 2 things we can smell, and 1 thing that we can taste. And the whole thing about this is that we focus on the nuances, the details, not on our relationship towards the things, but just what we see. So if I start to say out aloud, whatever you see on your end, I see my thermos, and I can see the shape of the thermos. I can see the lines that comes from the light reflecting on it. I can see the stickers my children put here. And as soon as I say children, I can like, oh, is there an emotional reaction? No, it's just a sticker. It's ants moving here. There's surfaces, texture, shapes. And we're trying to break things down so we just see them as they are, not through the filter of this is mine, my kids did this one is dirty, it's not nice, I know this one is a little bit broken, I should buy a new one. Like, as soon as you start doing those things, you're having a relationship to it. You're not seeing it as it is. Which is why when we look at our partner, we don't see them as they are. We see them through the filter of, oh, I want to have them, or, oh, I'm so annoyed at them. You cannot see who he or she really is because you have all this stuff in the way. And when you can take that away and just see them, everyone is beautiful. Like, people are interesting, and it's nice to be around people. And there's nice conversations, and it's like being close and intimate. It's so different. So my thermos. I see my computer screen with lots of lights and texts and all kinds of things. I see a door. And I see the shape, I see the colors, I see the shadows, I see the reflections. I see the little knots and dents and scrapes. I see a plant. The green stuff coming out. Again, reflections, lights, shadows, colors, texture, shapes. And I see the pot the plant is in, which has a really cool light reflecting from my monitor. And the curvature and the glossy look of it. What we're aiming for is to be able to look at things and enjoy them. See that they have beauty, even if you might not normally see beauty in them. There was 5 things I could see. Next we take 4 things we can feel. I can feel pain in my shoulders. I can feel my leg. I can feel my wooden sofa. And I can feel my telephone. Four things I could feel. Next we take 3 things that we can hear. I can hear a car passing by. I can hear my pulse. I can hear the vibrations from the fan in my computer. There's 3 things I could hear. Next we take 2 things that we can smell. I can smell the acid from the burp I just had. I can smell, I ate a cracker before with some kind of spices on it. 2 things I could smell. Next we take 1 thing that we can taste. I taste lots of spices. So I want you to sit down and just start bringing your awareness towards your breath. Just start being aware of breath happening and see what it does. We're not trying to control the breath. We're not trying to make it do anything in particular. We're just being aware of breath happening. You don't even need to feel the sensation of breath. Instead, it's a feel where you can feel that breath is happening inside of you. And just keep that awareness as you start moving your mind around and just feeling, what does it feel like to sit there and breathe? What does it feel like to sit still? And what is your emotional state right now? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling tired? Irritation? Boredom? Happiness? Joy? Maybe you're neutral? Maybe you're feeling content. Whatever you're feeling, just look at that feeling and see, is this a nice thing to feel? Do I enjoy this? For now, that's all we need to do. Just be aware of your emotional state. And at the same time, use your breath as your anchor. Breath is happening, and you can keep your awareness with the breath at the same time as you're noticing how you're feeling. For many, when we try to observe the breath, immediately something will come up. Well, I feel bad because earlier today someone said something to me. Or actually, last week someone did something to me. No, when I was a child, someone said this to me. And because of that, I feel bad now. Or maybe you're sitting and you're feeling bad because tomorrow you have a really difficult conversation. Tomorrow, maybe you're going to lose something. A month from now, maybe you have to separate from someone. A year from now, maybe you'll lose something or gain something and you can't stop thinking about that. The mind tends to go in and try to understand, find solutions, make it so that it's as likely as possible that we gain the best outcome in whatever situation you have. But for the next 20 minutes, just for 20 minutes, I want you to let go of all of that. It's okay. You can come back right away after we're done with the meditation and start feeling bad about whatever it was you were feeling bad about before. But for the next 20 minutes, I want you to just focus on your breath, to just be okay with things being the way they are. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to solve any problems. Heck, you don't even need to focus on your breath. Just be, just enjoy. It's the only thing we're aiming for in this meditation. And if you feel any kind of tension, any kind of resistance towards doing that, ask yourself why. Why can't you feel good? What is it that's stopping you? Is that a valid reason? When are you going to let go of that reason? If not now, then are you going to choose to let go of it now? Or later now? Because it will always be now whenever you choose to feel good again. Through all of this, just keep your awareness on the breath and be aware the breath is happening. And observe how all of these things move around inside of you, pushing you, pulling you, making it difficult for you to just sit here and be aware of your breath. It's the only thing we're trying to do, to sit here, be aware of our breath, and enjoy sitting here being aware of the breath. We're not aiming for neutrality. We're not aiming for a state where we're not engaged with the world. We're aiming to be in the world, enjoying it. To make it a little bit easier, we'll start by counting our breath from 1 to 8 and then down again from 8 to 1. And I'll do it together with you the first time, and then you can continue doing it by yourself until I jump in a little bit later on. Now you will hear my breath, but you don't need to control the breath the way I'm doing. I'm simply doing that to make it clear whether I'm breathing in or out. So together we breathe in and out. 1. In and out. 2. In and out. 3. In and out. 4. In and out. 5. In and out. 6. In and out. 7. In and out. 8. In and out. 7. In and out. 6. In and out. 5. In and out. 4. In and out. 3. In and out. 2. In and out. 1. Now keep counting your breath from 1 to 8, and then down again from 8 to 1 as you breathe in and out. 1. In and out. What would life be like if you would wake up in the morning and your first thought would be, it's nice to lie here. I think I'm going to keep lying a little bit and just enjoy the softness of the blankets. Just enjoy the warmth of my body warming myself up through the blankets and the cushions. Listening to the sound of turning around in the bed. And if you're lying next to your partner, maybe you turn over and give them a hug. Feel the warmth of another body. Or just lie there cozy by yourself. Then you get up and it feels nice to breathe. It's nice to feel still. It's nice to feel like the world is okay. It's nice to feel that you are okay. It's nice to feel that you're in a good mood. Then you get up, put on your clothes, and as you're doing so, you realize how nice it is to just wear clothes. They're warm, they're comfortable, they have nice colors. The feeling of them hanging against your skin is enjoyable. You walk to the kitchen, you prepare your breakfast, you smell the smells of whatever you're doing. Feel what it feels like to touch the oats if you're making oat porridge as you put your oats in the pot. Heat it up. Maybe put some cinnamon in like I do in the morning. And you can feel the smells. See the lights, the colors, the texture, the heat radiating on you. All the while enjoying just being there. After you're done, you put your food in your bowl. Put a little bit of jam in there, or maybe a piece of some honey. And you take a deep breath and just enjoy sitting there and eating your food, realizing that life is pretty nice. And then after that, you put on your outside clothes and you leave and go to work. Now it might be that you hate your work. It might be that you have no money at all and you can barely afford to live. Might be that you live in a really bad place to live in that you don't like at all. But none of that changes that experience you just had. None of that makes it so that you need to feel bad when you wake up. None of that makes it so that you cannot enjoy being right there, right then, experiencing life. Just ask yourself, why aren't my mornings like this? What is it that I'm putting as pressure on myself, making it so difficult to just enjoy being here? And it might be overwhelming at first, but just look at the distortion that comes up. Maybe you actually wake up like that, but then your partner says, ugh. And you go like, oh my goodness. Oh, I hate it when he does that. You get out of bed. Maybe you were feeling good before, but then you turn on your phone and you open the internet. And if you didn't feel bad before, you're sure gonna feel bad then. Why? Does it make any sense? Would it not be a better way to live life, to actually enjoy life? Why do we place all these demands on ourselves to feel good? All these things we think need to happen. All these things we distort against, push against, instead of just enjoying life. And from that enjoyment, take action. From that enjoyment, talk to your partner. from that enjoyment, go out into the world and do whatever you want to do. But do it while you're feeling good, not from a sense of hatred, anger, jealousy, fear, worry, getting revenge, getting even. Do it as you, whoever that may be. Because whenever you choose to feel good, it is always going to be now. It is always going to be right here. And if you don't choose to feel good in this moment, what about this one? Or this one? Or maybe you want to wait a few more moments and take this one as your time that you choose to feel good. Be kind to yourself. Realize what it is that you need to let go of and do one thing at a time. And just do your best. Always turning your face towards joy, towards enjoyment of life, for no specific reason. Just being alive, that's enough. It's a miracle. And if you find yourself getting lost in your thoughts, that's okay as well. Just go back to your breath. And feel how breath is moving in and moving out. Moving in and moving out. Thank you for a very nice sitting. I hope you enjoy that. See, own your words, you were saying, suggesting him just for your reference to check how he presents his ideas so that you can decide your approach. Did you say someone's name before? I can't see it on your words. If you wouldn't mind, just write it, the name of, I'm assuming it's a channel or something. Also curious, how do you find, those of you who have been here before, how do you find this different way of meditating? I kind of like this way of bringing, I don't like visualizations in many ways, but I do like feelingalizations. Feeling, meaning you look at how you feel in different situations. Thank you, Mats. It was nice to have you here. Oh, I really need to go to sleep also. Own your words. If you find that name, feel free to write it. If someone else has something to say, oops, feel free to write it in Discord also. We can have a conversation there as well. I wish you all a really pleasant and nice week, and I hope that you can find check. That's really cryptic. I'll check it. I hope you have a really nice week and that you can enjoy yourself and have a good time, because ultimately that's all we want to do. I'll see you back on Thursday again. Thank you.